Hello, this is SJ Talks in Life. Coming back at you. What do they have to do? Looking at my title here. I write my video topics down, and sometimes I can't read my own doggone writing. um, what do they have to do with you? Or what does that have to do with you? Is what I want to talk about. Um, Sometimes, and I'm not going to say we, I'm not going to say we because I mean to speak in general terms, I can say we, but I don't waste spend a lot of time. I don't sit around and worry about what other people are doing or because it's a waste of time. I don't have time. I literally don't have time to worry about other people. I don't. I don't. I don't have time because I got my own stuff going on. And um I know people, lots of people, are guilty of always worrying about what somebody else is doing or worrying about what somebody else got going on, you know. And to me, it's that's why I say, what does that have to do with you? What does they have to do with you? And so that's what I think. I think in terms of what does that have to do with me, or what does they have to do with me, and it helps me put things in perspective. Nothing. Then the answer is nothing. So I shouldn't be worried about it. I need to be worried about what I got going on in my own life, which my plate is already full of the things that I got going on in my life, and I don't have time to be worrying about what somebody else got going on. And I think that people, there's people that waste a lot of time worrying about what other people are doing or what other people got going on or what other people think. And I did a video talking about that. Um, what people think of you is none of your business. If you haven't had a chance to catch that video, get over there and watch it. It's a good video. It's a short one. Even worrying about what people think, you know, we don't have no control over what other people think of us. So why worry about it? And I think it's a huge waste of time worrying about what other people think, worrying about other people's lives, worrying about what other people are doing, and like some people, like I had a friend that a close friend of mine. He stayed with me for a little while. He was in between cities. He was relocating, and he temporarily needed a place to stay until gay friend of mine. But he's like a brother. I've been knowing him ever since high school, so we go way back. And he was coming up here to not in Michigan, but in Ohio to take care of his mom, and he was help with his mom. And he was temporarily without a place, and he stayed with me for a little while. And he was like, don't you look at don't you? He was asking me, do I peek in on my neighbors? I said, no, I don't. He said, oh, I would. I'd be checking out my neighbors. I said, no, I don't. And I can literally see my neighbor's house from my chair. The way I got my chair positioned in my living room, I can literally see my neighbor's house. All I gotta do is open up the curtains real wide, and even if I don't open them so wide, I can still see literally see my neighbor's house from my chair. I said, no. He's like, don't you peek in on your neighbors? Don't you got? I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't care what my neighbors got going on. Like I had some white people that lived down the street. No, they lived one house down. Literally, this is an elderly. I've been in my house for 23 years now. I think this was an elderly white couple that lived one house down. Um, from me. They were already living in their house when I moved into my house. And I think back in 2021, the husband passed. I think it was 2021. The husband passed. I think he had COVID. The husband passed. And then I think a year or two later, the wife passed away. And do you know that I didn't even know what their name was? And a neighbor of mine across the street, she moved. She sold her house and moved. And so I seen her, and she was like, how do you like your new neighbors? She was talking about the people that moved into her house. And I said, yeah, they all right. I mean, I don't know them. And, and then she asked about the neighbors that passed away. I think she asked about that. I said, and she said the Kiefers. I said, oh, is that their name? I had been living one house down from these people for like 20 years or 18, 19 years or so, and literally did not know their name. And the husband, used to come over and cut my grass. And I literally didn't know their name. And I kind of felt bad about it. When they passed away, I read their obituary and stuff like that. And I was like, I kind of felt bad about it. I said, I probably should have at least got to know what their name was. My son when he was little, because he was 2 when I moved into the house. When he was 5 years old, he got caught playing doctor with their granddaughter at the time. I said, boy, if we were back in slavery, you could have got hung for that one. And I still didn't know these people's, well, needless to say, they put all the blame on my son, and it was their granddaughter that initiated the situation. You know how that go. Anywho, I didn't even know these people's name. After all that, I still didn't know these people's name. So I said, well, I really mind my business. I mean, I really, really mind my business. Now, I do know my neighbor that's directly across the street from me. I do know her name, and I talk to her on a regular basis. I do know her, and I know her daughter and son. I talk to her on a regular basis, so I do know her. And I know the other neighbor. But anywho, my point was that I mind my business. Like when my neighbor that moved out of her house, and she said, how do you like your new neighbors? I said, I guess they all right. I don't know who they are. The mixed couple. I actually did a video talking about them before. It's a mixed couple. It's a white woman and a black man. And every time I come outside, she goes in the house. I was talking about how they act, those mixed couples with black men and white women, they act funny. I don't know them, and so my friend was like, well, you don't peek in on your neighbors, I said, no, I don't know what my neighbors got going on. And even the one that I talk to on a regular basis, I'm not in her business. I'm not in her. She probably know more about what's going on with me than I do with her. I'm not in her business. And I do know the lady next to me. I'm not in their business. I don't know what they got going on. And guess what? I don't care. I don't care what they have going on. I'm only worried about what's going on at my house. I don't worry. I don't concern myself with what my neighbors are doing. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing. I don't want them to be in my business. I don't want them to be in my business. But if they are, there's nothing I can do about it. But I'm not in my neighbor's business. I'm not in their business. I don't care what they got going on. I only care about what I got going on in my house. I only care about what happens at my house. And that's it. So, because that's my mindset is, what do they got to do with me? What they got going on ain't got nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. So I don't. So I say that to say this. I don't worry about what other people got going on. I don't. So I think people, and I get annoyed sometimes by people with people that do preoccupy themselves of what's, because it's a big time waster. I don't have time to sit around and worry about what my neighbors got going on. Oh, who they got at their house and all that kind of stuff. Who cares? I don't care what they got. As long as they don't bring it to my house, as long as what they got going on and they don't bring it to my house, who cares? I don't care. As long as it doesn't come to my house, as long as you don't bring that to my house. I mean, I would be a little concerned if they was running a drug house, because that's something that can affect the whole neighborhood. But I got pretty good neighbors. So I don't worry about what they got going on. And I would prefer that they don't worry about what I got going on in my house. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of my business what you got going on in your house, and ain't none of your business what I got going on in my house. So I don't and that's my mindset, is what do they have to do with you? What other people got going on ain't got nothing to do with you. Mind your business. It's like people spend too much time worrying about others. That you spend so much time worrying about other people that you don't have time to focus on you and what you got going on. Because my plate is full anyway. My plate is absolutely full. Okay? Completely full. And then I got my own things I'm dealing with, own personal things that I'm dealing with. And so I literally do not have time to sit around and be worried about somebody else, as far as family or it doesn't matter who it is. I literally don't have time to worry about somebody else. And I think if more people would have that mindset, they would get a lot more accomplished in their own life. Just to think of the things that you could accomplish in your own life if you just focus on you and focus on yourself. And not you could be so preoccupied with worrying about other people that you don't focus on yourself, and you, with the energy and the time and the energy that you have to put into yourself and focus on what you got going on, it's going to be at a deficit because you're so busy worrying about other people. And so I don't know, it was a marination. And so I just wanted to get it out there. But what does they have to do with you? Stop worrying about other people and worry about you. And focus on you and your own life and what you got going on. It doesn't matter who it is. Because what does that and what does they have to do with you? If you adopt that mindset, then this to think of all the areas in your life that you can laser focus on and make some changes, much needed changes that you need to make in your own life, or focus on your own family and what you got going on. Okay, somebody need to hear this. Hit that like button, and I'll talk to you guys later.